Welcome back everyone. You're watching the training week from February 17th, where once again we resume the big weekly focus, the big dream connection, pagan to Kolman on high bar. This week we're going to discuss a new technique that I've identified might be able to help me. And it was the first week back to it after a whole week off. I did a week without any forward releases whatsoever, so I used Monday to do one of each release just to get myself back into gear, and once again went full throttle from Tuesday onwards. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Misha, and here on this channel I share my love for gymnastics. You can watch literally every turn I've taken on the apparatus in the last 4 years, and hopefully it's not just about me showing my training off, but also about you perhaps learning something that you might be able to put towards your training adventures and save time in your own gymnastics journey. So I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think it's time that, this pagan Kolman, it's no longer about getting those reps in. This week I set another new record, 5 reps, but I think it's time to change my thinking. It's not just about getting a feel for it. I might actually have enough of a feel for it now to, as daunting as it is to try to catch this thing, to be faced with that final frontier of this dream. And I think you can imagine how that is, where that's it, like the only thing left is to actually go and do it. It's daunting, it increases the pressure, so I'm gonna have to do my best to stay grounded, take things just one step at a time. And maybe now's a good time to segue towards that little new technique that I think might be able to help me catch this thing. If you've been watching my Kolmans for a while, you'll know that I kick out. I have the luxury of kicking out early, spotting the bar from quite ways above, but doing your Kolman from pagan, there's much less height, and it's similar to doing it just from a top change or back aprise, which is why you're going to see me doing a little bit more of those from here on out. And because there's a lot less height, you have to flip a lot more, and when you kick out, obviously the flip is going to stop. And we're gonna watch a clip of Kohei Uchimura today, the king, the great, doing a Casino Kolman in competition. And we're gonna study the Kolman technique, and we're gonna observe how there's no kick out. There's a special little hip technique that he uses, which I'm sure many gymnasts that do Kovacs type skills in sequence or stoop half Kolmans use. And we're going to take a look at it today and analyze it in literally a wee bit. But that celebration was because I just had my first rep where I actually looked in the right place during a Kolman and had enough courage to spot the bar rather than blindly just reaching my hand out. So if you look at my head, watch right now, look and touch. Probably the best rep so far. But here he is. Fam, look at the knees. Knees tight, glued together. Look at the toes right here. The toes and the heels are touching together. This sort of awareness it might just be a level that is unattainable for myself. And I'm sure there's a lot of factors to doing it like that, but you can notice if you look back at the video that he doesn't actually open his knees out. He doesn't straighten his knees for the kick out. He goes from a knees to chest tuck and quickly transitions to a heels to butt tuck. So you're going from knees to chest, you're opening the hips up and swiveling, just like that swivel hips technique on the trampoline where you do a jump to your butt, get up in the air, do a half turn and land back on your butt. Here in New Zealand we call it the swivel hips. So he uses that swivel hips technique, keeps the tuck, again going from a knees to chest tuck to a heels to butt tuck, if that makes sense. And that allows him to flip a little bit more. To be honest, I don't even think he needs to, because he has such an amplitude on his Kolman. He's probably got plenty of height that he can kick it out. But that's going to be my next step, next step of pursuit. So you would have seen me before just trying to feel my way around it, doing that Cody full on the trampoline. And of course it's easy just to make minor changes on a trampoline, but when you're up in the air doing the connection and there's a metal pole in the way, potentially, it becomes all the more frightening. And that's why, man, I have such deep respect for anyone that has done, even without connections, just doing casinas, Brett Schneider's, without loss of leg form, to me is insane, because it's my weakness. I don't have a natural predisposition to doing it right, so we can say I probably learned it wrong, and I should have listened to my coach and spent more time, not only coach but judges too, that were telling me that I should have spent more time just focusing on my leg form. But when coach tells you to focus on pointed toes and knees together, but there's a metal pole literally centimeters away from your skull and you're flipping into it, as a teenager, your natural response inside is, coach, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I gotta first of all live through this release, and second of all, I gotta catch this metal pole with my hands. So I don't have the time to be even thinking about my legs in such a situation. But and now where I am, when I'm trying to catch it, it's I have problems because I didn't focus enough on it when I was younger. The drill, as you can see, was beautiful, but every time I put in my head that I have to catch the bar, it changes. So deep respect to Kohei and anyone that's a master of keeping their legs together no matter what. Especially when you're close to the bar. I've seen so many clips of the Japanese, literally their hair follicles are like scraping the bar, yet the legs are just glued. The legs are glued, even when their face is in the bar, they don't break form. For me, it's unreal. But Friday was rough, and I was really disappointed, because not that I didn't send any connections, but because I couldn't commit to keeping that tuck longer, flipping more. And the one that I caught, of course, was just all over the place. My legs were apart, and it's the one thing that I'm trying to be committed to doing, keeping my form and flipping longer. And I just didn't have enough resolve within myself to follow through, and I was pretty frustrated. So I'm trying to feel that here, and I held on to that frustration all of Friday because I didn't want to let it go. And it reminds me of a story from, it must have been my build up to 2006 Veronin Cup. So I was 15 years old at the time, and back then my release was a Genya. And I remember, no matter how much I tried, I just could not catch this Genya in my routine, in training. I didn't want to go close to the bar, too scared to go close to the bar, and I was really frustrated with myself. The competition was only weeks away, and I remember thinking, next day, no matter what, I'm doing it. Even if my face is in the bar, I'm going to catch this Genya. And symbolically, I kept my tape on. I didn't take my tape off after that training session, so that I would use that same tape the next day, as if the session wasn't over. As if it wasn't over yet, the session is not done, I'm going to finish it tomorrow. And it was almost that same sort of a feeling, like that inner teenager came out and said, this isn't over, I'm doing it again on Saturday. So by now you've probably noticed I do them on Tuesdays and Fridays. I very rarely do them on Saturdays, but now my thought is maybe I'll just do like less reps on Friday and Saturday. For example, usually I might try like 5 reps on a Friday and exhaust myself and do something else on Saturday. But if I do like 3 tries on a Friday and then 3 tries on a Saturday, well, I'm getting 6 reps in and maximizing my chances. Plus, I'm not doing as many in one day, so it's probably, preventative of thrashing my shoulders as well. So here I saluted, did a little P-bar routine, 2 giants instead of giant Diamondov giant, but making progress. So this routine will be a 5-1, which, looking at the latest World Cups in Cottbus, would have been up there with some of the guys. Definitely far from the highest start value, but as a base routine, I think this will suffice, and I'm going to keep working at it. So one highlight from Saturday, us, the senior boys, we thought of a game to kind of bring us together, boost team morale, and that game consists of sticks with a point system. So, and actually you're going to see that entire game in just a wee bit. So here's the rules. The rules of the stick game are, if you stick your dismount, you get 2 points. If you take a 0.1 step or hop and it's a relatively clean landing but you didn't stick, you still get 1 point. A messy landing but you landed it nonetheless, no points. And if you fall, you get -1 point. We did 4 rounds of the game, so I started there off with 1 point for the team. And every week we're going to see if we can beat our score. So it was myself, Daniel, Josh, and Ben. And not to spoil it, but man, I sabotaged the team. Thought I'd do a bit of giant Diami training at the same time. Maybe that's why the sticks weren't the greatest. Went hard for the stick. Take a step, dude. What are you doing? -1 for the team. What are you doing, Mish? Dan sitting another one down. That's another -1. Point for the team from Josh. Benny sticking, 2 points. So we did 3 rounds. We did 3 rounds each, and we tallied up how many points total we had. And this was just plain stupid. I forgot that I'm not supposed to fall. I spazzed out and again ended up taking a point away from the team tally. Josh sticking, and Ben was the MVP, stuck 2 of the 3 rounds, which led us to a total of 6 points. Pretty sure I've counted it right. If I'm not, let me know in the comments, because I just did a quick little tally. Didn't have enough juice for double back full twist, but moved on to my usual gorilla ape man flops. Gorilla is the only word I can use to describe how that looks. Bent arm, can't lock my elbows because I'm so inflexible. Hey, but made one. I found out on Saturday that this bungee technique that I've been using for Azerian actually works for inverted cross as well. So you'll see me give that an initial try. It's really fun. Makes you feel like you're strong when you're actually quite weak, and lets you feel what it's like to do a nice level inverted cross. And that's how the week went, fam. I finished off with some swings like usual, and I'm asking myself, why are you doing strength? Why are you swinging? And paradoxically, the answer I give to myself is for my shoulder health. Funny enough. Appreciate watching till the end. Japan Juniors Part 1 is now up. It's a 20-minute video. And if you're keen to support my journey to international competitions, please consider checking out the Patreon linked below. All the best. Till next time.